So if you're new here, hi, I'm Cherry. I'm a spiritual life coach, numerologist, and energy body mentor. And I help people like you. Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly, not spiritually. Do you actually trust yourself with power? Not power over others, power to choose, power to speak, power to be seen. Because March doesn't ask if you're capable. It asks if you're willing. January rooted you. February taught you how to relate without disappearing. March now asks, what will you do with your power? March is ruled by Energy 3 in the 10 energy bodies. This is the positive mind. The positive mind is not optimism. It's not positive thinking. It's not manifesting quotes on a vision board. The positive mind is your power center. It governs will, self-worth, expression, decision-making, creative force. Energy 3 decides, am I allowed to take up space? If February was about safety, March is about exposure. You might notice fear of being seen, self-doubt resurfacing, procrastination, overthinking your voice, downplaying your desires. This isn't regression. This is activation. Power wakes things up. At the heart of Energy 3 is one question. Am I equal? Many people learned early that power was dangerous. If you spoke up, you were punished. If you shone, you were resented. If you wanted more, you were called selfish. So your nervous system learned to shrink. March exposes that contraction. Power activates visibility, and visibility activates memory. Your body remembers what happened the last time it took up space. That's why shame often rises right before expression. Shame is not truth, it's protection. Power is not force. True power is the ability to stay present while expressing yourself. No collapse, no aggression, no apology, just presence. March is about clean power. So sit or stand comfortably. Feel your feet, feel your spine. Gently expand your chest. And say internally, I am allowed to be here. Then breathe. Notice what resists. That's where the work is. In the next part, we go deeper into will versus force, procrastination as nervous system protection, self-worth and equality, why creativity is an expression of power. But for now, let this land. March is not asking you to become powerful. It's asking you to stop hiding the power you already have. So let's clear something up immediately. If you struggle to take action, it's not because you lack discipline. It's because your nervous system doesn't feel safe with the cost of action. And Energy 3 knows the difference. Will is clean. It's directional. It moves with clarity and steadiness. Force is pressured, urgent, punitive. Force says you should be further along by now. Will says, this matters to me. Burnout happens when force masquerades as will. March activates desire, and desire makes you visible. So if visibility once led to criticism, rejection, or shame, your body learned a workaround. Delay, distract, downplay. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's protection. Your nervous system doesn't evaluate action logically. It asks, what happened last time? If taking action once led to pain, embarrassment, or overwhelm, your body will hesitate, even if your mind wants to move. March brings this hesitation to the surface. At the heart of Energy 3 is equality, not superiority and not comparison. Equality. Many people learned, I'm allowed to exist, but not to shine. So wanting more can feel arrogant. Taking space can feel selfish. That's not humility. That's conditioning. Energy 3 governs creativity, not art, not output, life force. When creative energy is suppressed, power turns inward and becomes frustration. March invites expression, not perfection. So place one hand on your solar plexus, breathe slowly and ask, what wants to move through me? Not what you should do, what wants to move. Even a small answer counts. You don't need to push yourself into power. You need to trust yourself with it. March is where that trust begins. This is the point where Energy 3 gets misunderstood because expression and performance look similar on the outside, but in the body, they feel completely different. Visibility activates memory, not conscious memory, embodied memory. Your body remembers being judged, being misunderstood, being laughed at, being told you were too much. So when March asks you to be seen, your nervous system flares, not because you're unsafe now, but because you once were. Expression comes from presence. Performance comes from protection. Performance monitors, how am I being received? Expression asks, am I being honest? Performance drains you. Expression energizes you. And Energy 3 is about reclaiming expression. Shame often arises right before you speak, share, or act. Not because you're wrong, but because shame learned to keep you safe. Shame always says, hide. Energy 3 asks you to stay. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to stay present with fear. March teaches shame resilience, the capacity to remain embodied while being seen. This is a muscle. Before sharing or speaking this month, pause. Ask your body, am I expressing or performing? If your breath is shallow, slow down. If your body softens, continue. Let the body lead. Authentic confidence is quiet. It doesn't convince. It doesn't impress. It stands. And that steadiness is magnetic. You don't need to be louder. You need to be truer. March is where truth becomes visible. This is where Energy 3 matures. Not into louder expression, not into harder action, but into embodied authority. Authority that doesn't ask permission. Authority that doesn't dominate. Authority that doesn't disappear. So let's name the subtle ways power leaks. You give your power away when you wait for permission to speak. Overqualify your truth. Minimize your desires. Defer to keep harmony, or seek approval instead of resonance. This isn't weakness, it's a learned strategy. March reveals these patterns so they can be reclaimed. Power dynamics aren't about confidence, they're about self-positioning. And when you position yourself beneath others, your body follows. Collapsed posture, held breath, a quiet voice. Energy 3 asks you to stand where you belong, not above, not below. That is equality. Overgiving says, if I offer more, I'll be valued. Overperforming says, if I do it better, I'll be safe. Both are powerful strategies, but they are rooted in fear. Embodied authority doesn't overextend. It trusts in presence. If authority once led to backlash, your nervous system learned to avoid it. So when you step into self-leadership now, your body may react with a tight throat, a racing heart, or self-doubt. This isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign to slow and stay. Stand with your feet firmly planted. Lift your chest gently. Soften your jaw and say internally, I meet the world as an equal. Feel what changes. Authority lives in posture. Approval asks, do you like me? Influence asks, what lands? When you stop chasing approval, your words carry so much more weight. March is where influence replaces appeasement. You don't need to become powerful. You need to stop shrinking your power. Energy 3 is already alive in you. This is where Energy Body 3 completes its work. Not by pushing harder, not by doing more, but by allowing desire to move cleanly into action. Now, most people don't struggle with action. They struggle with how they act. Action driven by pressure leads to burnout. Action driven by fear leads to self-betrayal. Energy 3 teaches action comes from alignment. When the body is on board, movement becomes sustainable. Desire is not impulsive. It's informative. Desire tells you what matters, where life wants to move, what wants expression. Suppressing desire doesn't make you spiritual. It makes you disconnected. And March invites you to listen. Clean action feels steady, grounded, non-dramatic, and internally resourced. It doesn't rush. It doesn't prove. It just moves. So before taking action this month, try this. Pause and breathe. Then ask your body, is this coming from desire or pressure? If it's pressure, wait. If it's desire, move. Even and gently. This is how trust builds. Living Energy 3 means honoring your wants, taking up space without apology, allowing expression without performance, choosing action that feels true. Small actions count. Consistency comes from safety. So stand or sit upright. Feel your feet, feel your spine, and say quietly, I trust myself with my power. And then breathe. Let that land in the body. March was about power. April will be about integration. Energy 4, the neutral mind, will ask, what do I keep? What do I release? Because power without integration becomes chaos. So this month, we will focus on the power. Ready for next month. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss any of March's videos. See you in the next video. Bye for now.